Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Anastasia here. Today's video is a bit special because I would like to talk to you about France and things I wish I knew before moving here. Things no one told me, including internet. And I hope that for those of you who think about France, dream about France, for studies or for work, this would be useful. First thing I want you to know is that French is absolutely essential. In everyday life, it's conversational French. At work, it's written French. It's important to master it. And contrary to many other countries in Europe, it's very hard to live your happy life here in Paris if you don't speak French. My first lunches at work, I spent them in silence because I didn't understand the references, I didn't get the jokes. And then professional email French is very important because if you don't pay attention to some polite phrases and to some expressions that you need to use, you may sound really rude. Example, I learned quite late that saying par avance merci or merci de is actually not a polite thank you in advance. It's actually an order because you say thank you because you know the person's going to do it for you. So it's not something you want to send to your boss, for example. By the way, I have a video about how I improved my French after learning it in high school and how did I get fluent and got to that C1 level, so check it out. Second thing, also career-wise, you have to know that networking works very well in France and it's very important to master it, but you should know how to use it and it's not obvious. You should not be too direct, and that's a mistake many foreign students make, for example. They would hear about networking messages and they would just write to alumni of their school saying, "Hi, can you pass my CV to your company?" or something like that. And that doesn't work at all. So you have to learn the exact good approaches, the phrases you need to use, and how to start the conversation to engage a talk with a person that would probably be helpful for you. I learned it by experience and by talking to other French students and my French friends. And in the end, when I was looking for my first job in France, I got around a dozen of interviews through networking. Next, something I wish I knew and understood before is that it's very hard to switch careers in France. Once you did a program, for example, in communications, it would be nearly impossible for you to go work in finance and vice versa, because French employers, they put you in a box based on your degree and on your internship experiences. So if you decide to lean, for example, towards product management after marketing, it would be very tricky without doing some additional studies or even a master program. So choose your program very wisely. Number 4, Parisian apartments are really small and hard to find and very expensive. It's not just a common joke in blogs and series. It is actually true. I was surprised how hard it is to find an apartment, how expensive it is, and how there is a line of people every time you come visit something. You come and there are 10 other people and couples just fighting for this place. And the old buildings, which I love and that are charming, have approximately one serious problem per century of their existence. Especially for foreigners and for foreign students, it's quite tricky to find a place. So be ready for that struggle. 5, I have to admit that it's quite hard to melt in France. French people are very friendly, but they will not easily let you in their circle. I've heard a lot of foreigners complaining about it. Some people, blogs and articles say that French people are rude. I don't think so, but it is definitely hard to get in a group of French people and get close French friends because you have to understand a lot of subtle things, cultural references, codes and jokes, and that comes with experience, with communication, with meeting French people. And to me, the language is actually the way to crack that code, but it might be tricky on the way. 6, it's related to the previous point. French people, they may seem very nice and very open, and they would, for example, invite you to their house, but it doesn't mean you're friends. For me, it used to be something very intimate to invite someone at my place. In France, it's very common, and in the beginning I was like, oh wow, I made friends so fast, but it's more of acquaintances. It doesn't mean you're gonna see these people regularly or that you can rely on them. So, as probably in any culture, true friendships are hard to find, but acquaintances are easy to get if you speak French. 7, Be ready that you will be criticized at work, and that's okay. I worked with French people and with expats from the US and from Australia, and they, for example, they would first encourage the team. They would say, "Oh, that's fantastic, this is a great job," and then tell you what they would like to improve. French people would probably go straight away into, "Yeah, it's good, but we need to redo it," both in group meetings and in one-to-ones. Again, this is just my personal experience, but to me, it's just a question of work culture and approach and not the quality of your work. 8. Very practical thing about health insurance. Health insurance in France is pretty good and very affordable, so this is a great point about France. But you need to keep in mind two things. First of all, you need to get what's called, when you come here, for example, as a foreign student, you will have obligatory social security, sécurité sociale. You will get your insurance card, and this will cover, for example, up to 70% of your general medical visit. But then there are additional things, additional fees, some analysis you need to do, or maybe contact lenses, like in my case, dentist and other things. And so this is an additional insurance that you need to buy. So if you want to feel completely calm and safe about this, go find yourself a nice, good mutuelle, which is an additional insurance. And second, you should find this one amazing person who is your médecin traitant, which is your doctor. I found mine. It took me years, literally, and this would be your main point of contact. He would give you ordonnance, he would send you to other doctors, he would follow all your medical history, and help you at any moment. So this is a very important person, and try to find him as soon as you arrive in France. 9. Very important. Please keep all your papers. All of them. Believe me, I tend to do cleaning and what we call tri in French all the time and throw away everything, considering just not important some papers that are 2, 3, 5 years old. In France, you should keep all the papers for 5 years. As a foreigner, you will have to go through a lot of administrative procedures for your visa and for your social security and for other things. And you never know what you will need, actually. Some papers about your internship a few years ago, the proof of your residence for all the imaginable addresses you had in France, your electricity bills, and of course everything related to your visa and your status in France. And later on, I went through the citizenship procedure, so it's called naturalisation. I asked for a French passport and I got it. I'll make a separate video about it. And my file was huge, and I was glad that I kept most of the stuff, but I learned it also quite late, like maybe a few years after arriving to France. So keep them all. You will thank me later, believe me. Last point, get ready to talk about politics and wine. The number one is, you get used to it. I didn't like it at all, and I actually at some point said to my friends, I don't like discussing politics. And it was exactly the year of elections in the US and soon to be elections in France. And then I got used to it because politics are everywhere in the discussions in France. And even though you have to be quite careful about this, like you don't ask people directly who they vote for, but the discussions and the debates are all around the place. And it's also important to be aware of what's going on. So I definitely advise you to listen to or read the news so that you're at least aware of the context. And then you will find your pleasure in having all these different debates and also guessing quite fast actually by what the person says, who he's probably likely to vote for. So this is actually interesting. That's a big part of French life. Everybody has an opinion, so get ready for those discussions. And the second point, it's wine. I don't know, guys, if you like wine or not. I do like it a lot, and it's in France that I learned actually to appreciate great wine, and you will probably taste it with different meals and you will eventually learn it, I'm not saying that you're gonna be in movies and like one of my friends who smells all these amazing things, the fruits and earth and smoke in wines, but you will definitely know more about it. And this is an amazing gastronomic experience. That's it for today, guys. That's what I wanted to share with you today. And overall, I love France, I have to say it. I feel really great in this country, and I would make another video about more like pros and cons of living here. And even though I can find some cons, I love it, and I hope this video was useful for you if you're planning to move to France soon, that you're ready for it and that you will have an amazing experience in Paris or elsewhere in France. If you like the video, please like, subscribe, comment, share your opinion. This helps me a lot. It helps me to keep making the videos and maintaining the channel. Thanks a lot, guys, and see you in the next video. Au revoir!